The first challenge begins long before you set foot on the mountain. Financial barriers alone filter out most aspirants. Professional expeditions require specialized gear, experienced Sherpas, oxygen supplies, and proper permits. The Tibetan and Nepalese governments charge significant fees for climbing rights. Then, there are the months of physical training, mental preparation, and altitude acclimatization. Climbers typically spend 2 years planning a single attempt. Even the most physically fit athletes struggle with the demands of extreme altitude. At base camp, surrounded by towering ice seracs and impossibly steep walls, the scale of the challenge becomes real. The air here contains only half the oxygen of sea level. Simple tasks leave you breathless. Sleep becomes difficult. Appetite disappears. Climbers must listen to their bodies carefully, recognizing the fine line between adaptation and danger. As you ascend higher, conditions deteriorate rapidly. The Khumbu Icefall, one of the most dangerous sections, shifts constantly under the heat of the sun. Seracs the size of buildings can collapse without warning. Climbers must cross a maze of massive ice blocks, secured only by ropes and ladders. Progress is measured in hours of careful, exhausting work. Beyond the icefall lies the Western Khum, a vast glacial valley surrounded by steep walls. Here, the sun reflects off the snow, creating an oven-like heat during the day, while temperatures plunge far below freezing at night. Climbers carry everything they need on their backs, rationing oxygen as they climb higher into the thinning air. By the time you reach the South Col or the North Col, you are deep in the death zone. At over 8,000 meters, the human body cannot sustain itself indefinitely. Every breath provides barely enough oxygen to keep your organs functioning. Without supplemental oxygen, most climbers would lose consciousness within minutes. Even with oxygen, decision-making becomes impaired. Memory falters. Judgment fails. The rational mind begins to surrender to the overwhelming desire to simply rest. But resting here means dying. The margin between success and tragedy is razor thin. Every step forward is a choice to fight, to persist, to believe in the possibility of returning home. The summit push begins in darkness, typically around midnight. Temperatures have dropped to -40 degrees or colder. You begin climbing by headlamp, a solitary figure in an infinite void of ice and stone. The route weaves through the Geneva Spur, across the south summit, and along the knife-edge ridge known as the Hillary Step. Each obstacle demands everything you have left. And then suddenly, you are there, the roof of the world. At 8,849 meters, you stand higher than any other point on Earth. The horizon stretches endlessly in every direction. Clouds drift below you. The curvature of the Earth becomes visible. This is the moment climbers dream of for years, sometimes for their entire lives. But celebrations are brief. Time is your enemy now. Exhaustion, cold, and dwindling oxygen supplies threaten your descent. The same route that led up now leads back down through the death zone. Many of those who perish on Everest die on the way down, not up. Fatigue, accidents, and the sudden loss of nerve claim lives every season. Those who succeed share stories of witnessing others in distress, frozen on the mountain, unable to help without risking their own lives. Making it back to base camp alive is the true measure of success. Only then can you truly say you conquered Everest. Because climbing the mountain is one thing, coming home is another.
There is a place on Earth where the air is too thin to breathe, temperatures can drop below -60 degrees, and a single moment of hesitation can end everything. That place is Mount Everest. Standing at 8,848 meters above sea level, it pierces the sky like a frozen sentinel. The wind howls at over 200 kilometers per hour at the summit. The air contains only 1/3 of the oxygen found at sea level. This is the roof of the world. And for those who dare to climb it, this is where survival becomes the only goal. The journey begins months before reaching the mountain. Climbers train rigorously, preparing their bodies and minds for the ultimate test. They gather specialized equipment, study weather patterns, and acclimatize to the altitude. But nothing truly prepares you for the reality of Everest. As you ascend higher, the body begins to fight back. Oxygen levels drop drastically with every step upward. Your heart beats faster, working overtime to deliver what little oxygen remains. Simple tasks become exhausting challenges. Even tying your boots can leave you breathless. Thinking clearly becomes difficult. The mind fogs, reactions slow, and mistakes become more likely. And this is where the real danger begins. Everest is not just about climbing, it's about enduring. The mountain is known for its extreme and unforgiving conditions. Hurricane-force winds can tear tents apart and knock climbers off their feet. Freezing temperatures freeze exposed skin within seconds. Unpredictable weather can change from clear skies to whiteout conditions in minutes. The Khumbu Icefall, a moving river of ice, claims lives every year. Massive seracs can collapse without warning. Narrow ridges, no wider than a sidewalk, offer terrifying drops on both sides. One wrong step can mean falling thousands of meters. The death zone, above 8,000 meters, is where the body literally starts to die. Cells begin to break down, muscles waste away, the brain struggles to function. But one of the biggest challenges is something called exhaustion. It creeps in slowly, stealing your strength one step at a time. Your body slowly runs out of energy, and there's no easy way back down. Every step forward is a battle against your own failing body. Every step downward requires the same precious energy. Because of these conditions, not everyone who climbs Everest makes it back. Over 300 climbers have died on these slopes since 1924. Many of them remain here, frozen in time. A stark reminder of the mountain's unforgiving nature. In some cases, rescuing climbers at extreme altitudes is nearly impossible. Helicopters cannot easily reach those heights. The air is too thin for rotors to generate enough lift. Carrying someone down requires immense strength, in an environment where even standing is hard. Sometimes the only choice is to leave the fallen behind. Yet despite all of this, thousands still attempt the climb every year. Why? Because Everest represents something beyond physical achievement. It's a test of human limits, a journey into the deepest parts of the self, where the mind must be as strong as the body, and the spirit must endure what the flesh cannot. For many, reaching the summit is the greatest achievement of their lives. Standing at the top of the world, overlooking the curvature of the earth, a moment of pure triumph against overwhelming odds. But the mountain doesn't care about your triumph. It waits, patient and eternal, ready to claim anyone who underestimates its power. And for many, it becomes the ultimate challenge. Not a race, not a competition, but a reckoning with the mountain, with nature, and with ourselves.
On Mount Everest, there's something most people don't realize. At extreme altitudes, helping someone else can become incredibly difficult. Not because people don't care, but because every climber is struggling to survive. The air is thin, the body is exhausted, even simple movement feels heavy, and in that moment, every decision matters. Sometimes, the only thing you can focus on is your next step.